And now, Whitney Media 1460 WVOX presents Westchester Means Business with Marsha Gordon. Marsha Gordon is the president and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester. Now, here's Marsha Gordon.
And it's great to be here this week, the holiday week on WVOX. Happy Easter, happy Passover. We are not live today, but you can always listen live at WVOX.com. I'm Marsha Gordon, President and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester, and I'm so pleased to welcome back. But it's been a while, so I'm very glad to have you back. Ellen Rothschild and Mitch Taube from Digiscribe International, and Ellen is co-founder of Digiscribe International, which was formed in 2001 to provide companies of all sizes with cost-effective document scanning, document management, and office automation services. In 2010, she co-founded Digiscribe New England, so you've been busy in the last number of years, an affiliated company serving the document management and business process automation needs of companies and organizations in New England. She is the Chief Marketing Officer, and in that role, she's responsible for business development, branding, client communication, and publicity. And Ellen is a very active community member, serving on the board of the Metropolitan Business Network, as on the board of the Food Bank, on the executive board, on the Connections Advisory Committee of the WCA, and where we first met on JDRF. Welcome, Ellen.
Thank you.
And Mitch, who is the president and CEO of Digiscribe International and Digiscribe New England, is the principal founder of the company, again formed in 2001. And together with Ellen, he's grown the company. He has over 25 years in the information services industry and brings a wealth of experience and insight to helping companies automate critical business needs. He is equally as involved in his industry and in the community. And he founded International Data Services of New York, where it grew to be the leading data management company nationwide. You know, I've observed the growth of your company over the many years now that we've known each other, and am amazed at how you have positioned Digiscribe in a rapidly changing environment to be such a leading business, employing how many at this point?
50 here in New York and
Wow.
25 in Boston.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about Digiscribe. What do you do and who do you do it for?
Well, in the simplest way, we help companies go paperless. And that can mean anything from just scanning documents that are in their file cabinets to actually automating their business processes, such as accounts payable processing.
That's great. And you've been in Westchester since
The beginning.
Wow.
We've been here since 2001.
That's great.
We've lived in Westchester. I've lived here all my life, and Mitch has been in Westchester for the past 35 years or so.
And so over the years, I've certainly referred your company many times, and especially when you walk in and you see whether it's an attorney's office, an accountant's office, many other government office, and you see boxes and boxes of papers. And so is that what you do, that you take those and you scan them in?
Well, Marsha, we have basically a paper processing factory. So think of boxes and pallets and envelopes coming in the back door in the loading dock, and then digital images like PDF files going out the front door. And just as you would in a factory where you've got different steps and quality steps throughout the process, that's what we've got. And we've got about 50 people that all day long they do the heavy lifting for companies to digitize those paper boxes. They pull the staples out, they unfold the bent edges. It's grueling, tedious work. A lot of our customers come to see our facility thinking they're going to do it on their own. And when they walk out, they say, there's no way we're going to do this on our own. These people know what they're doing. And so we become their outsourced provider of document scanning services.
So important. And over the last 17 years, there have been many changes in the economy and for Westchester businesses. What changes have you seen in the market?
So companies still want to improve their efficiency and lower their costs, which are some of the key benefits we provide to our clients. But the way they engage us has changed, where before, like you just said, you would walk in and see boxes of paper or file cabinets and we would digitize them. Now companies engage us at the beginning of their business processes. So we actually act as an outsourced mailroom, a P.O. Box mailroom for our clients, where we're receiving the paper and even email invoices from many of our clients to digitize them and get them into a business process. So our clients don't even see paper anymore. The paper comes to our facility and we digitize it as well.
So, I've heard this word before, and maybe you can help describe it. Workflow automation. What is that? How does that work?
Sure. Workflow automation is going into a company and figuring out how the paper and the information flows throughout the organization, and then taking those rules for the business and helping identify them and building through some software that we sell those same business rules. So for example, if an invoice that's over $25,000 in an organization needs to be approved by 3 people, instead of sending that paper invoice to 3 different desks for a signature, our software does that automatically. It knows who needs to approve those invoices, and it just improves that process tremendously.
Do you help with the accounts payable process as well, and keeping track of, I guess, payables, receivable, all of that?
More on the payables side, more on the order processing side. So we've automated a few companies' order processing processes where an order comes in and then it has to go for credit approval. And once that credit has been approved, then it has to go to all the various steps to get that product or that service boxed up or delivered back to the customer. So
That's great.
If I just
Sure,
may add,
please.
with workflow automation, think of it as taking a very manual and inefficient process and just automating it with software. So it allows those processes to happen more quickly, easier, and also they can be tracked.
And is there a certain type of company or type of business that's best served by the workforce automation process? I'm thinking of our own, small office, which handles a lot of transactions all of the time,
I would say about how has the business changed in 17 years? Probably 17 years ago, to put a workflow solution into a customer was very expensive, and it required a big investment in software and professional services. And today we have found that through hosted solutions in the cloud, that those business processes can be automated for as little as, let's say, $500 a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. By the way, my guests today are Ellen Rothschild and Mitch Taube. Together, they run Digiscribe International, a wonderful company here in Westchester, which really helps companies become paperless. It's a painless way to a paperless office, and they really have the expertise and the software and the knowledge to help companies with processes and get to where they need to operate efficiently. Are there any other changes in the market that you're seeing over these years?
Yes. So more and more companies are having to meet with different types of compliance from all different sorts of agencies. The FDA, their accountants, their outside investors. So we're showing companies a lot more ways to be able to comply with local and federal and state rules, as well as make audits easier. So a side benefit of having all of their documents digitized is it makes an audit so much easier. If there's a sales tax audit, if an external investor needs to do an audit on an annual basis, we take that audit process from weeks down to hours.
That's very important. It's not a fun thing to go through, but all businesses do and should. And so So Digiscribe definitely can provide that support. I do want to give your information several times during this broadcast. So, Ellen, Mitch, where can people reach you to learn more?
Well, our website is digiscribe.info. If you go there, there's forms and phone numbers to call us, but if you want to call us directly, you can just dial 914-586-6600, and we are located in Elmsford, New York.
Great. And I'm Marsha Gordon. I'm the president and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester, and so pleased to have Digiscribe as a member of the Business Council. So, Mitch, you were talking about regulations. How have increases in regulations impacted how you as a company operate?
That's a great question, Marsha. Probably about 15 years ago, we started hearing about a concept called a SAS70 audit, which really large companies were requiring to do business, with a smaller company like ours. Mm-hmm. And, over the years, we sort of buried our heads in the sand that, well, this will go away, or we won't do business with large companies. But what we have found is over the years, more and more medium-sized businesses and now even smaller businesses are required to do business with companies that have something called a SOC 2 Type 2 audit.
SOC 2 Type 2.
Yes, it stands for Service Organizational Controls, and what it means is a team of auditors come into your business once a year. In fact, they'll be on our doorstep a week from today, actually when this is probably broadcast, and they will look at our written control principles surrounding things like security and confidentiality and business availability. And they'll want to see our written controls, and then they'll test those controls and see how we've been performing under those controls for the past year. It's
and who does this audit?
A certified public accounting firms.
Okay.
Large and
Very
medium-sized
interesting.
accounting firms that have specially trained auditors to do this come into our business. They have people that have to do penetration tests on our network, so they try to hack into our network, both from the inside and from the outside. So SOC 2 Type 2 is very important to our business. It has enabled us to engage not only with very large companies now, with also medium-sized businesses where security and confidentiality is paramount to what they do.
It's amazing. I'm reflecting back to probably the 8 or 9 years ago when we had this opportunity to sit down, and I don't remember having conversations like this.
Right.
We knew what you did. We knew what the company was. The company was growing, but now you definitely have grown and evolved with this new environment. Do you work for healthcare organizations? And if so, what are the regulations around confidentiality there?
We absolutely do work for a lot of healthcare organizations, both hospitals and medical groups, where we are scanning and digitizing their patient files that will be integrated with their EMR systems. And we also do work with hospitals on the accounts payable automation side. And in addition to our SOC 2 Type 2 report that we receive, all of our employees are HIPAA trained.
So HIPAA is a form that we all sign when we go into the doctor's office, correct?
Exactly.
Got it.
And we understand the security and the confidentiality of our clients' data is paramount. So when all of that is in our production facility, we have controls in place, as Mitch had mentioned, with SOC 2, and our employees are trained as well to make sure that their data, our clients' data and documents are being kept secure.
That's terrific. So by the way, my guests again are Ellen Rothschild and Mitch Taube from Digiscribe International. I'm Marsha Gordon of the Business Council of Westchester. Always proud to be here on WVOX, talking about the work of Digiscribe International to help offices go paperless, and particularly talking about this Service Organizational Control, or SOC 2 report. Are there particular industries that you work with these reports?
Banking requires a SOC 2 report. A lot of medical, a lot of medical requires those types of reports. Manufacturing companies require that. Distribution companies require that. And anywhere where you're potentially touching their network or where you are digitizing work that might have PII, personally identifiable information on it, they need to make their compliance people step in, and they need to make sure that that there won't be any breaches of the data.
You know, it's so wonderful to hear that, obviously, in these days when we're concerned about breaches of data. So it's wonderful to hear that there are companies like yours, like Digiscribe International, that really has all of these processes and programs in place to make sure that your data is safe.
Right, and the report is done annually, as Mitch had mentioned earlier. So it's not that you go through this audit once. It's every year you get audited, and every year we've gotten the report.
Yeah.
By working with the SOC 2 company, our clients know that they've done the due diligence necessary to protect their data and documents.
That's great. Now, I know the work that you do for Westchester County is based on a relationship you have with the ARC of Westchester.
Correct.
And I remember when they began to get into this business years ago, how exciting it was to see people with developmental disabilities working alongside of people without developmental disabilities on this process. Can you talk a little bit about how that's worked for you?
Sure. About a year ago, actually about 2 or 3 years ago, is when the relationship started, and Westchester ARC asked us to come in and take a look at their scanning operation to see whether there was potentially some more efficiencies they could gain in the software they were using, in the processes they were using to digitize and to index the paper that they were getting from the various state and local government agencies. And we made some suggestions to them that they took to the board. And it took a little while, but I think they got to a point where they decided to take that existing operation and fold it into our operation. So their lease was coming due.
And you were open to having it folded in.
We were.
Yes.
We were.
I mean, that's the other half of the equation. So thank you for that.
We were. So we are now a subcontractor for them, and all of those contracts were moved over to jointly between Digiscribe International and Westchester ARC. And I think we hired about 20 of their staff people.
Oh, that's great.
And,
I love that.
And about half of those people were individuals with developmental disabilities.
So can you talk to us on WVOX today? Mitch, Taube, and Ellen Rothschild from Digiscribe are our guests today. Talk to us about your experience with employing individuals with developmental disabilities.
It's been a really excellent experience. It's been great with our staff. All of the IDD staff have developed personal relationships, actually, with some of our staff. It's a completely integrated environment where everyone sees each other as equal and everyone's eating together. It's been so positive, and we would highly recommend this to any company considering employing any individuals with developmental disabilities. It has made our culture richer, and
That's
it has
great.
made all of us just appreciate each other in a deeper way. And we're really very proud that actually we are being awarded a business partner of work of Westchester ARC for this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I will be there.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I have never missed one. And also, at the Business Council, as you know, we have our Green Business initiative, and we're very active in promoting green business with our partnership. And I would imagine what you do for clients is helping them to become greener. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Well, first of all, instead of moving boxes and moving paper around an organization, now you're moving digital images. A lot of times those digital images are stored in the cloud somewhere. So you don't have your own servers. They're all in a big shared server farm in the sky. So that's one way. The other way is when we're all done with the paper, it goes and gets shredded. So and all
great.
of that paper is recycled. Probably about 90 percent of the documents that we scan are shredded. The rest, some people still want to store their documents. To put it into perspective, we scan about 25 million pages a year.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
That's about 10,000 boxes of paper. I don't even know.
You must be doing a
I don't know how
lot
many
to
trees that
reduce
is.
the carbon footprint here in Westchester.
And interesting, statistics show us that every document on average gets copied about 19 times. So if you think you have one document in your office, chances are that one document has been copied multiple times, which is just adding to the amount of paper, the amount of trees that have to be cut down, the costs for transporting the trees and the paper, and all of the resources that demands.
That's terrific. That's great. I do want to give your information again. The work you do is fascinating. It's important. It helps businesses. It helps productivity. It helps efficiency. And you're a great employer. So where can people find you at Digiscribe?
You can find us on the web at digiscribe.info, or you can call us at 914-586-6600, and we're located in Elmsford, New York.
Right now, Ellen and Mitch, what I have long admired about you as individuals and as business owners is your involvement with our community, and thank you for that. So, can we talk a little bit about that, which I know is many passions of yours?
Sure. I previously served on the food bank for Westchester, which is currently known as Feeding Westchester.
Yes.
I think it's
I love the new
great name.
Yes.
It's a great name. It's a really important organization. The fact that there are over 200,000 individuals living in Westchester who are food insecure, meaning that they don't have access to the food they need. About 25% of those people are young children who can't really concentrate in school when their stomachs are hungry, a lot of elderly people as well. So I think Feeding Westchester is just a great organization. I was really proud to be working on their board as long as I did. And then before that, I was involved with the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation of Westchester, served on their board for a number of years, and another great organization trying to help individuals and families find a cure and live healthy with type 1 diabetes.
Well, thank you for that work and for the commitment. And, we love to talk to businesses who really believe in corporate social responsibility. And I know from both of you, it really comes from not only from a business point of view, because fortunately, your business obviously enables you to do that as well, but from you both personally, and that's just so important. And we at the Business Council appreciate your support of the Business Council, and so because you asked me to ask this, I'll be presumptuous enough to say, how has the BCW helped your business in Westchester?
It's helped us tremendously. It's a great connector of other business owners in the county. You're giving us access to key decision makers in the county. Specifically, you had a great event last week meeting the county legislatures, trying to provide for open communication with them. You're always out, not only in the county, but on the state level as well, representing the interests of businesses throughout Westchester. And I think that's really important for any business, and it's certainly helped us.
Thank you. And what do you, as your business evolves and you look, to the next five years or so, I think that's a good horizon probably. What do you see in terms of trends for the future? Are you, how is the workforce? Do you have trouble, hiring people? Are you, what are you seeing? What are the new needs that are being met in the evolving technology of the workforce?
We are seeing the amount of paper in very large corporations being reduced, but we continue to see a trend of very good size not-for-profits and medium-sized businesses that have thousands of boxes of paper that they want to scan, and the cost of doing that has dropped significantly from where it was 10 or even 15 years ago. So we're seeing more and more companies that are challenged by the cost of office space and
Certainly.
and a lot of them are downsizing. And when we're seeing companies downsize or move to not downsize, but move to smaller space,
Yes, exactly.
the file room is not coming with them.
Yes.
So they still need access to those documents, but there's no more file room. So when companies move is a very large trigger for what we do.
Right. And Digiscribe can help. So you can
Yes.
find them at digiscribe.info or at 586-6600. You're a wonderful Westchester business. You're a wonderful guest. Thank you so much.
you,
And we
Marsha.
wish
Thank you, Marsha.
everyone a great week for business.